I tried to keep it to new releases this year, but it appears I've only played 9 new non-early access games this year. To round out the top 10, I'll give Vampire Survivors a shout out. It was released on Switch this year, so it kinda counts. Right? This game shouldn't only be $5. Who is responsible for this? I'm used to paying a full $60 for some mediocre shit that can only hold my attention for a few hours. So why did this $5 little gem hold my attention for over 50 hours? Fine, I guess with all the DLC included, it's closer to $10, but the value on display here for only 10 bones is insane. The game is just fun, man. Vampire Survivors is a roguelike shoot-'em-up game where you just slaughter hordes of enemies. Soon enough, the screen will just be covered with hundreds of enemies, and you have no idea what the hell is even going on. It is such an adrenaline rush, and it makes my stupid brain happy. Every time the player grows a level, they can pick either a new weapon or item, or level up a current weapon or item. If the player has a certain combination of weapons and items, they can unleash an evolved weapon. This will need to be done by opening a chest. Did I mention that the chest animation is just amazing to watch? This game is pretty much a dopamine simulator, and I am okay with that. The gorgeous pixel art and banging soundtrack just simply elevate this game to being great. I'm sticking this at number 10 just because it's not technically a new release. This realistically would be up there in the top 5. I got straight addicted to this shit for a hot minute there. The devs are still pumping out new DLC as well. I guess it's time to play more Vampire Survivors. At 9th, I have Hogwarts Legacy. Exploring the world of Harry Potter is just fun. Exploring Hogwarts is something that I've wanted to do ever since being a wee lad. Other than that though, it kinda is just another generic open world game. I put it above shit like Assassin's Creed for sure, but really the general gameplay is go to marker, do the thing, go to this quest marker, do that thing. As someone who enjoys the feel of a game, as well as the atmosphere, these are what get Hogwarts Legacy by. The combat is simple but fun. You can juggle spells and do more damage by combining them. There are different kinds of shields for different spells. The character has a dodge because why not, I guess? Every game needs them nowadays. There are plenty of spells to choose from. It's just a fun time all in all. I honestly just don't have much to say about it, but it was very fun to explore the world of Harry Potter. At 8th, I have SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. Yeah, I'm a joke of a person. As someone who grew up with Battle for Bikini Bottom in the movie game, I've always wanted to see how a brand new 3D platforming SpongeBob game would fare on newer hardware. I've always been a fan of these middleware games. Not every game release needs to be a big budget, hundreds of millions of dollars, 100+ hours bloatfest. The only thing this game focuses on is just being fun, and it succeeds at that. At least for the most part. I prefer the more open style of Battle for Bikini Bottom, where you can go after specific spatulas. The Cosmic Shake goes for a more linear style, which isn't inherently bad per se, but for something like SpongeBob, I really want to explore the world, damn it. The Karate Kick is a great new addition that makes combat and platforming more fun, but if we're talking actual enhancements to the gameplay, there really isn't that much. The Cosmic Shade is content on being the game of old, not inherently a bad thing. At the price of $40, maybe I should have expected that. But hey, it's still a fun time. I love it when a game comes out of nowhere and surprises me. Hi-Fi Rush did that in spades. It was shadow dropped in January, and I didn't get to it until a few months after that. When I picked it up though, oh boy, I was hooked. The art style is gorgeous, the music is fist-pumping, and the combat is fast-paced. The game revolves around wannabe rockstar Chai. During his limb replacement surgery, he gets a music player crammed inside of his body. This enables him to feel his surroundings to the beat. If the player can time their attacks to the beat, they'll be able to string together combos and do more damage. Attacking enemies will fill up the player's rhythm bar, which will enable Chai to unleash a powerful attack. The game will also feature a chip system, which will give the player various upgrades. 4 slots can be bought, and upgrading a chip will force it to take up 2 slots. During combat, the player can summon 3 helpers that can either break shields of the opponents or stun them. The game will also feature platforming sections in between the combat sections. The cutscenes are also gorgeous, by the way. There are some issues with the game, like Chai feels a bit stiff during the platforming sections. The level themes are similar, so they blend a bit, and the humor can be over the top. Overall, these flaws aren't enough to bring it down a significant amount. Kinda like what I said with SpongeBob. I like these smaller titles releasing in between the bigger budget, huge games. Did I mention that this is only $30? Totally worth it. Spider-Man 2 is one of those sequels that plays it extremely safe. It pretty much feels like Spider-Man on PS4 and Miles Morales again. But this time, there are 2 Spider-Men. Sitting around New York City is still a treat, and I found 100%ing the game to be less tedious than the first one. Speaking of 2 Spider-Men, they actually feel pretty different, like gameplay-wise. Peter will use his symbiote abilities. Meanwhile, Miles will use his electrical attacks and his camo ability. The core gameplay of the previous games are still intact. Beating up thugs is still fun. As you level up, you can purchase new abilities for them, and completing side missions will unlock the tokens that you can use. There are only 5 gadgets this time around, but they are all bound to button combinations instead of that wheel thing. It makes combat so much smoother. While I like the story overall, and there are definitely some epic moments, there are absolutely pacing issues. There are a good few walking sections, biking sections, and everyone's favorite, Mary Jane sections. At least they made her OP as shit so they can go by quickly. I like having both Spider-Man in the game from a gameplay perspective, like, you know, switching back and forth between them. They feel different, but I feel like the story, it faltered a bit because of it. I'm mostly here for the gameplay though, so it doesn't bother me too much. Count me as one of those people that thought that the new Super Mario series was overstaying its welcome. I know, I'm so unique. The first one was a nice return to form for 2D Mario games. I gave the Wii one a pass because it had a multiplayer, and my siblings and I ate that shit up. But after that, while not bad games, New Super Mario Bros. 2 and U were underwhelming. Not bad games, mind you, but definitely had that feeling of, been there, done that. When Mario Wonder was first shown off, I honestly thought it was going to be the same problem again. However, I was wrong! The Wonder Flower adds so much variety. One of them makes you a Goomba and you have to watch out for enemies. Another one has the players walk on the walls instead of the floor. A different one makes the Piranha Plant sing. Another one makes the player a gooey-like creature so they can slip and slide on the ceiling and walls. You never know when Mario Wonder is going to throw at you next. Badges are a really nice addition too, although I usually kinda just kept the cap one on that lets you glide, to be honest. These range from swimming better, to having a floatier jump, to getting a vine that acts like a tether, and getting coins from jumping to the beat. The only real big negative I can think of the game is the boss battles. They kinda suck, but isn't that par for the course for 2D Mario games? Anyway, I think that World and 3 still have my heart, but this is probably my third favorite 2D Mario game. Tears of the Kingdom takes Breath of the Wild and adds the Ultra Hand to it. Good enough for me. Making shit is just so much fun. Revisiting Hyrule again is nice, but I know it's gonna sound crazy. Like Hogwarts though, I just don't have that much to say on this one. It felt like Breath of the Wild again, but with the Ultra Hand. It's kind of a knock on it, as I think they could have differentiated the game a bit more, but Breath of the Wild is already considered one of the best games of all time. I guess I get it, but kind of like Spider-Man, I wish there was a bit more new stuff here. It kind of gave off that been there, done that feel to it. And guess what? It's still at number 4 despite that. Really goes to show you how good the game still is. The last time I bought a game purely based off hype alone before Baldur's Gate 3 was... you know, I don't really know. My friends bought it. Everyone was talking about it. And it was sitting at a 97% on Metacritic at the time. I like Dungeons & Dragons. And that's pretty much all I knew about this game going into it. A big, 100+ hour story that is based on Dungeons & Dragons. Sign me up. Didn't meet the hype though. Acts 1 and 2 did, and if Act 3 kept its pace, I could have maybe moved it up one more spot. The amount of freedom that you have in this game shouldn't be understated. You can kill pretty much whoever you want. Storylines can play out so differently. You can build your character however you want, and you can pick between 6 companions. I decided to go with Lae'zel, Shadowheart, and the Giga Chad Gale. Throughout the adventure, I really started to like these companions. Each one comes with a cool backstory. The next time I play through it, there were 3 more that I could dig into. I ended up loving the world as well. There was just so much to do in Baldur's Gate 3. So many characters to talk to, so many places to explore, so many quests to complete. It doesn't feel empty either. The world feels dense. The D&D combat feels great as well. It's fun sitting there and thinking about the next best move that I can make. Should I use my best spell slots and all my superiority dice and get the shit over quickly? Do I want to do multiple battles in a row? Or be a little bitch and long rest in between each one? I enjoy freedom in games greatly, and Baldur's Gate 3 allows that in spades. It ain't perfect, and dare I say it might be a tad overrated. Some annoyances include characters splitting up on the map for no good reason, the inventory being a literal clusterfuck, getting multiple low dice rolls in a row can be definitely annoying, and mostly, Act 3 ran like complete ass for a while. What Larian did here is amazing though. Remember when other developers were saying that Baldur's Gate 3 can't be the norm because it's not predatory enough, it doesn't have battle passes and other microtransactions, also because it was made with heart? Good times. Never change, EA. Any other year, I think Pizza Tower would have been able to claim the top spot. The last time I've been this obsessed with a game that seemingly came out of nowhere has been forever. There really was a time when Pizza Tower was just constantly on my mind. When I was working, I just wanted to go home and play some Pizza Tower. The gameplay is just so fast and hectic, but it rarely ever feels like you're not in complete control of Peppino. Stringing together Peppino's moveset is just so goddamn satisfying. I love doing the dash grab thing and then crouching. He will just glide across the floor, and the momentum will be carried into his dash when he gets back up. The super jump is a lot of fun too. It can be kind of weird lining it up, but once you get the hang of it, oh, it is so good. Getting the hang of Pizza Tower just makes it incredible. I remember thinking, there is no way I'm P-ranking everything. That will simply take way too long. But sure enough, I tackled it level by level. Even the bitch ones, like Gnome Force and Pizza Scare, were P-ranked. Just as a refresher to get a P-rank, the player must start a combo on the first screen and carry it throughout the entire level, get all 3 secret eyes, get the janitor, use the janitor to open the door to get the treasure, and do 2 laps. And if it sounds like a lot, that's because it is. I earned that 101%, damn it. The levels are just so much fun that it really isn't that big of an issue replaying them over and over to get the P rank. They're all so much fun from a gameplay perspective, they all stand out thematically too. Like Peppibot Factory takes place in a Factorio-like setting. Oh shit will take place in a sewer. Don't Make a Sound is an awesome play on Five Nights at Freddy's, and War is just insane. Did I also mention that the soundtrack slaps? It's become one of my favorites in all of gaming. I know the word is overused now, but I genuinely think that Pizza Tower is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and pretty much any other year, it would have been able to snatch that coveted #1 spot. However, one game came out this year that just simply floored me a bit harder. And also, yes, it was robbed of the Game Awards. Cocoon, really? Needed to say that. I've waited 10 years for another Pikmin game. While I was initially a little disappointed with Pikmin 3 because I removed the caves of 2, I became more fond of it over the years. Eventually, especially with 3 Deluxe, I thought it was worth a near-decade wait between 2 and 3. The question is, though, did Nintendo replicate that? Is Pikmin 4 worth a decade-long wait between 3 and 4? Yes, it is. At least to me. I truly think I can make the argument for this being my favorite Pikmin game. It brilliantly blends the caves of Piklopedia from Pikmin 2, the challenge missions in the form of Dandori challenges of Pikmin 3, and Omar as a side mode that plays like Pikmin 1. It is a tribute to all 3 mainline Pikmin games that came before it, and that's just special. It's not just that, though. There is plenty new that is brought to the table. Ochi completely changes how you play Pikmin. Consolidating all your Pikmin into one small space, that is something that I did not know that I needed. Being able to spend materials to either buy upgrades or build structures adds some nice decision making. The Ice and Glow Pikmin, they are neat new additions. While they are brief, the later night expeditions can get really hectic. I've already 100% of the game twice, and I'm just blown away that Nintendo met my expectations. I don't think it's recency bias either. I've let the game sit and marinate for a bit. There are flaws for sure. The auto lock-on is complete dog shit. The game is on the easier side, the music is admittedly pretty mid, and I'm not the biggest fan of the new captain designs. Even with all those flaws though, it's still my #1 game of the year, and like with Pizza Tower, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of those rare new releases that truly make me feel like a kid again. I think it stands toe-to-toe with the other 3 Pikmin games. Picking a favorite one is hard to do. Pikmin 1 is the most replayable and is the best atmosphere by far. 2 is the most personality and is the one I like to play when I want to mess around in bullshit caves. 3 Deluxe has killer challenges, as well as multitasking capabilities. And 4 is a beautiful blend of the first 3. I still can't pick. If you're talking early access games, there are still some goodies too. Tape to Tape almost scratches that NHL on PC itch that I've just been waiting for. Lethal Company is hilariously addicting and fun. Sons of the Forest started out a bit rough, but they've added content to it throughout the year. Looking back, I probably should have just put Lethal Company in 10th place. I missed out on a few big releases, of course. The big one was Alan Wake 2. Supposedly that game is amazing, but I never got to it. Resident Evil 4 Remake was also pretty solid too from what I've heard. I've heard that Lies of P was an amazing Souls-like if that's your thing. I also heard that the new Star Wars Jedi game is good if you can actually run the damn thing. I guess unoptimized PC ports are all the rage in 2023. When you only look at the good shit, 2023 was actually pretty solid. Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and was a nice surprise. Pizza Tower beat Nintendo with their own game. Baldur's Gate 3 made other companies mad because it whooped their asses. And most importantly for me, Pikmin 4 is real. Not only is it real, it's great. There was definitely some bad shit released this year too, though. Skull Island, Rise of Kong, that Gollum game, Redfall is a disaster, the day before it was literally a scam. Whatever. I'm just happy that Pikmin 4 is finally here, and it's good enough to be my game of the year. With Pizza Tower releasing this year as well, it actually wasn't a guarantee.